The desert sun blazed mercilessly overhead as Jarek trudged through the endless sands of the Jaran wastes. His boots kicked up clouds of ochre dust, and his throat burned with thirst. A lone bounty hunter by trade, Jarek had tracked a fugitive across 3 systems to this forsaken planet, hoping to claim the reward that had long eluded him. The village on the edge of the wasteland was little more than a scattering of mud huts and half-collapsed shelters. As he approached, wary eyes peeked from behind torn curtains. His reputation preceded him, a man who never failed to bring in his prize. Inside the village square, Jarek found the bounty's captor, a towering alien with 4 arms and scales that shimmered like liquid silver. The alien grinned, revealing sharp teeth. "You've come for your reward." Jarek nodded, keeping his hand near the pistol holstered at his side. Without hesitation, the silver alien gestured to a nearby cage. Inside sat a young woman, or at least she looked human at first glance. Her skin was smooth and pale, but her eyes glowed a faint violet under the harsh sun. Her hair was a cascade of midnight blue, tangled from captivity. She sat quietly, watching Jarek with an inscrutable expression. "Take her," the alien said with a grin. "She's yours now." Jarek hesitated. The prize was unusual, an alien slave, supposedly valuable in the black markets beyond this sector. But something about her gaze unsettled him. Still, a reward was a reward. He unlocked the cage, and she stepped out, graceful despite her chains. "I'm Jarek," he said, keeping his voice low. She studied him a moment, then nodded slightly. "I'm Lyra." Back aboard Jarek's ship, the Starhawk, Lyra's composure shifted. No longer the silent captive, she moved with the fluid grace of someone trained in the arts of survival, and something more delicate, more refined. Jarek watched her carefully, noting the way she observed his ship, the technology she didn't seem to find unfamiliar. As the ship blasted off from the dusty planet, he decided to break the silence. "Where do you come from, Lyra? And why were you captured?" Her violet eyes met his steadily. "I was taken by rebels from my home world, Kalina. They seek to overthrow my family." "Your family?" Jarek frowned. "What do you mean?" "I am a princess," she said simply. The words hung between them like a spark in the stale air. Jarek stared, disbelief warring with intrigue. "A princess? You're telling me you were a royal captive?" Lyra nodded. "In hiding. I was sent to this sector to gather information and avoid detection. But the rebels found me." Jarek sank into his chair, the weight of the revelation settling in. He had unknowingly taken a royal hostage as his prize. The implications were staggering and dangerous. Over the next days, Lyra told her story. Kalina was a lush planet of sprawling forests and towering crystal cities, ruled by a dynasty that traced back millennia. The rebels were a faction bent on seizing control by any means, and her capture was part of a calculated plan to destabilize the throne. Jarek listened, fascinated and conflicted. His life had been one of mercenary contracts and solitary pursuits. Now, with a royal alien princess under his protection, he found himself drawn into a larger conflict. "You could turn me in," Lyra said one evening as the stars streaked past the ship's viewport. Jarek shook his head. "And let you fall into rebel hands?" "No. Besides, there's a bigger game here. Maybe I can help you get back home safely." She smiled, a brief flash of warmth. "Trust is a luxury I haven't afforded in years." Their uneasy alliance soon faced its first test. As they approached the nearest friendly outpost, a rebel squadron ambushed them. Ships fired energy bolts that cracked against the Starhawk's shields. Evasive maneuvers. Jarek shouted, his hands flying over the controls. Lyra moved swiftly, her eyes glowing brighter as she touched a console. To Jarek's surprise, the ship responded to her commands, as if she shared a secret connection with the vessel's advanced technology. "Your people built this?" he asked between blasts. "Yes. It's partly why the rebels wanted me. They think I can unlock hidden defenses," she said grimly. The battle raged, but with Jarek's piloting and Lyra's strange affinity for the ship systems, they escaped the ambush. However, the danger was far from over. Days later, they landed on a secluded moon orbiting a gas giant, a safe haven controlled by Kalina loyalists. Lyra's relief was palpable as she stepped onto solid ground again. The loyalists greeted her with reverence. Their leader, a grizzled veteran named Commander Vesh, bowed deeply. "Princess Lyra, it is an honor. We feared you lost." Jarek stood aside, watching as the princess embraced her allies. Commander Vesh turned to Jarek. "And you must be the man who brought her back. You have our gratitude." Jarek nodded, masking the whirlwind inside him. But peace was short-lived. That night, Lyra confided in Jarek beneath the twin moons. "The rebels are planning a massive assault on Kalina's capital. They want to capture the throne once and for all," she said quietly. Jarek frowned. "Can we stop them?" She looked up, determination in her violet eyes. "We must. I need you, Jarek. Your skills, your courage, they can make the difference." He smiled, feeling a new purpose rising in him. "Then let's get to work." The final battle was fierce. Jarek and Lyra led a daring strike against the rebel flagship, weaving through enemy fighters and blasting through their defenses. Lyra's knowledge of the enemy tactics proved invaluable, and Jarek's steady aim cut a path through the chaos. In the heart of the rebel ship, they confronted the rebel leader, a ruthless warlord with eyes like molten steel. "You think you can stop us?" he snarled. Lyra stepped forward, regal and resolute. "I am the rightful heir to Kalina. Your rebellion ends now." With a fierce clash, the warlord lunged. Jarek intercepted, their weapons sparking in deadly combat. Finally, the warlord fell, and the rebel forces surrendered. In the aftermath, Kalina began to heal. Lyra, now restored as the rightful princess, thanked Jarek in a private moment beneath the shimmering crystals of the palace. "You saved my life, and my world," she said softly. Jarek smiled. Guess taking an alien slave as a reward wasn't such a bad gamble after all. She laughed, the sound like music. "No, it wasn't. You're more than a bounty hunter to me now. You're a friend, and maybe more." He felt something warm stir inside, a connection he never expected to find among the stars. As peace returned to Kalina, Jarek chose to stay, no longer a lone hunter but a guardian of a new alliance. Together, they would face whatever the galaxy threw at them next. Because sometimes, the greatest rewards aren't the ones you chase, they're the ones you never saw coming.